Hi everybody, welcome back to American Crochet. Today I will be going over how to crochet the periwinkle scarf. Pattern is going to call for an H hook. You'll see that I have two hooks laying here. So the reason for that is because I do crochet a little bit tighter than most. I'm going to chain with an eye, and if you've read any of my patterns in the previously, then you will know why I do that. Okay, so let's go over our supply list. Today we're going to work with a lot weight yarn from Carry On. We have our crochet hook, scissors, and tape measure. So when you go to reading the pattern, it states that you're going to work with an H hook. And you're probably wondering why I have two hooks laying here. So let me explain that real quick. I crochet a little bit tighter than most, meaning my tension is tighter. It's not as loose as others. So I chain one hook up. So I'm going to chain with an I hook, and then I will work the rest of the scarf with my H hook. And you will need to do the same. You'll have to, do a gauge swatch to see which hook size works best for you. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to chain 32. You'll make your, I like to leave a little bit of a tail so I can weave in my ends. So you'll yarn over to make your slip knot. Your yarn that's on the back of your finger, in case you haven't done this before, you're going to push that through the loop, which then gives you your slip knot. Okay, so let's chain 32. And just make sure that your stitches are even, that they're not too tight, that they're not too loose. Okay, by now you should have 32 chains. Okay, so I'm going to lay my I hook to the side, and I'm going to pick up my H hook. Now we're going to half double crochet across. Now I like to work in what's considered the back bump. So I'm going to take my chain and I'm going to turn it to where you can see the back bump. Okay. So I'm going to work into the second chain from the hook. And when you work across in the back bump, you don't want those stitches to be too tight as well, because then your chain will not lay like it should. And one of the reasons why I like working in the back bump is it gives my foundation row an easy, clean, neat look to it. Okay. I'm trying to make sure you can see this, so I'm struggling just a little bit with my hook and my stitch. Just trying to make sure you can see where I'm placing that stitch. So this is your back bump. Okay. If you are new to the channel, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoy working the periwinkle scarf as much as I enjoy making it. Okay, we have our 32 or 31 half double crochets across. Okay, so now we are going to chain 3, turn our work. So we're now back to the right side of our scarf. Now we're going to double crochet. We're going to skip 2, work a V-stitch into the next stitch. And this V-stitch will be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. You're going to skip 2, work a V-stitch, skip 2, work your V-stitch, and we're going to skip 2, V-stitch. We're going to repeat this all the way across until you get to the last 3 stitches. Okay. So I'm going to skip our 2. I'm going to come over and work our double crochet in the end. Okay, now we have our first pattern row worked. We are now going to chain 3. We're going to turn, so we are working on the wrong side of our yarn. And we're going to work 3 double crochets inside the V stitch. Okay, so we're going to work that across. I'm working in the last V-stitch of the previous row. And now I'm going to double crochet in my chain 3, the top of the chain 3. Okay. I'm going to chain 3. Turn. And now I'm going to work my V-stitch row in the middle, in the double crochet, the second double crochet of the 3 double crochet set. Now I'm going to skip 2, work my V-stitch into that middle double crochet from the previous row. Skip 2, V-stitch. We're going to work this across. for the last V-stitch of this row. Now we're going to double crochet in the top of that chain 3. So now we are going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until your piece measures 30 inches. I am going to continue to work mine off camera. Okay, so now we have worked those 2 rows to measure 30 inches. I'd like to reiterate again, at this point we should weigh our skein of yarn just to see where we are at this point of the project. Now, I like to weigh my skein of yarn at the beginning, and if there's any left over at the end. If I don't have yarn left over at the end, I just weigh the entire scarf just to have an idea of exactly how much it's going to weigh and what I actually used yardage wise, because your label could tell you it weighs one thing and it actually weighs something a little less or a little more. Okay, so by now your scarf should measure 30 inches Now you have one of 2 options. You can continue working your scarf with your 2-row repeat going the same direction until it measures 60 inches. If that is your wish, which is perfectly fine, I love the way it looks, and that's how it's done in my hand spun. And then at that point you can decide if you want to work a nice clean edging, or if you want to leave it with the sides raw. I personally like the unfinished look. That's my preference. Each to their own. So I will be giving you that edging in the pattern. Yeah, or you can lay that panel to the side, and you can make a second panel that will also measure 30 inches, which is what you see here. So I have 2 panels laying here now. Both measure 30 inches. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's already 60 inches. What are we doing? So I thought it would be nice to give you a second version. So with these 2 panels, your pattern is going to go up the same way all the way around, okay? And then we would join the 2 panels together. So if you are going to work both panels, then once you have both panels measuring 30 inches, I'll get this moved around for you to where you can see, then we're going to, on one of the panels, you will evenly single crochet across like I've already done. I hope you can see that. So I've evenly single crocheted across. So I now have my 31 stitches. I went ahead and I placed a stitch marker on the ends just to help keep things intact as I work the next few rows in order to attach that second panel. Okay, so with that being said, I've already worked 1 row of our extended single crochet. Just wanted to have a little bit of a foundation there to show you what we're doing. Okay. Alright, so now this row we are going to chain 1. I worked my extended single crochet in the first stitch. Now I am going to work my extended single crochet in the third loop. Okay, so I've inserted my hook. I am going to yarn over, pull through. I have 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, single crochet, and I'm going to do this all the way across to the very last stitch. When you're working your extended single crochet, make sure that you're not that your tension, again, isn't too tight or too loose. If it's too tight, obviously it's going to pull more on the scarf and the stitches are going to be harder to work in. If it's too loose, well, your stitches aren't going to show like they're supposed to as well. So now you want to join your extended single crochet row and your single crochet row together. At this point we are joining the scarves. Here you are joining both panels of the scarf using your favorite method. Here you will work the edging along both sides of the scarf according to the pattern.